morning. How y'all doing? I hope all is well. So we're at that time of the year where you have all these different holidays that people celebrate, customs and beliefs. And I just wanted to go over some, one in particular that stands out to me. As in about 3 weeks we'll be approaching the holiday. So, so I got some notes here. We reading my notes and then engaging with you too. Okay. So we were indoctrinated into a belief system that it wasn't ours. It was forced upon us uh, to include customs like holidays. One in particular that I mentioned is coming up in 3 weeks is Thanksgiving. Um, Now I know if you like me, growing up in school, I was taught that Thanksgiving was like um, the natives and the pilgrims coming together, in an agreement fashion. Now before I go any further, I do understand that some sort of celebration of Thanksgiving thanks is done all across the world on various dates, right? But in our case, or in my case, how I was brought up, I think you all were brought up like that too. It was somewhat like an agreement in the form of a treaty was done between the natives and the pilgrims. That's how it was presented to us in school. When in actuality, it was forced because the natives, they had seen what these pilgrims had did to fellow tribesmen, stole their livelihood, their land, and different things, raped their women and all of that. So out of fear, and murdered them too. So out of fear, they didn't want that to be their end. So it was like a forced, agreement or treaty, if you will, you know. And so this thing here, Trail of Tears. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Trail of Tears, but Trail of Tears was a forcible migration of natives, spearheaded by President Andrew Jackson, and these natives were forced out of their ancestral homes like Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and North Carolina to a man-made Indian reservation in the Oklahoma region. The part of this that's sinister to me that I take a little personal is a lot of this forcible movement, placement of the natives were done by army soldiers, and not just any army soldiers. This is around the time when the army had started bringing in melanated black people, into the armed forces. And in the army, they had this group called the Buffalo Soldiers. And a lot of times the Buffalo Soldiers were used for this purpose. Now, keep in mind, natives, these are our people. So you have the natives that are enlisted into the military, and they're using the very people to forcibly remove these people off of their land and instance murdering them and whatnot. Isn't that awful? My take on this whole thing is we need to come out of these customs and holidays. They weren't ours. They was forced upon us. We were prisoners of war. Think about it. Our ancestors were taken into slavery, forced off their lands or whatnot, made captives, and we are the spoils of war, prisoners of war, if you will. And we need to come out of their customs. I know a lot of people talk about, they stole our language, they stole our traditions, they stole this, they stole that. And at this time, the Most High is giving that back to us in the way of awakening people, awakening His people, the chosen people, tribesmen, Israelites, Hebrew Israelites. And a lot of the people, they're not receptive of it. Think about the Egyptians and the Israelites coming out of Egypt. They seen all these miraculous signs that Yahuwah had performed. They got out of Egypt. Moses went up into the mountains. He come out the mountains. They done made a freaking idol. They thinking, reminiscing about, the days in Egypt wasn't that bad. And, no. And this idol worship, this isn't even us. What are y'all doing? And Moses, Yahuwah was going to take them all out, kill them. But Moses stood in the gap. No, kill me or what have you. So what Yahushua did, he said, no, what I'm going to do, for 40 days, they're going to wander in the wilderness. And this gave time for like that older generation to die off. Basically, anyone over the age of 20 at that time, they died off. Because they didn't have the right mindset going forward. They still had that slave mentality mindset. And they couldn't go into the new promised land with that mindset. And so current day now, People are being awakened. We know that the Bible is our history book. You know, we was told that fake history in school, and the Bible is history. It's our history. And like far as feast days, special days, they're outlined in the book of Leviticus. Special days that we are to be celebrating, not these man-made holidays. Deuteronomy 14:2, it speaks of, let me see here. For you are a holy people of Yahuwah. In the Hebrew dictionary, holy is set apart. A peculiar people to himself above all nations that are upon the earth. We're meant to be different. We're not supposed to be like these other nations, other people, like the Gentiles. We're meant to be different. You know, think about it. We are the most hated race of people on the earth, right? But yet they can eat us up. I said, this thing got to be bigger than just our complexion. What the world is it? It got to be more. Yeah, because it's jealousy, y'all. They jealous of us because Yahuwah made it a point to me. We are the chosen people. We are. And it's jealousy. And think about it. We influence everything. Music, clothes, sports, the culture, and yes, even voting. Why in the world you think the Democratic Party targeted our race of people during their campaign? Think about it. They targeted us. If we're not the majority, why would our vote make that much of a difference? Why just target us? Think about that. All right. So that's all I have today. You know, you do your own thing, but just letting you know that we got to come out of all these man-made, these traditions, these customs that weren't ours. They were just forced upon us. All right. Shalom. Shalom.